हेलो गुड मर्निङ सबैजनालाई
गुड मर्निङ
गुड मर्निङ
मर्निङ सन्चै हुनुहुन्छ सबैजना
होपफुल्ली
किन hopefully सन्चै त अब हेल्थ त हुनु पर्यो नि
स्वास्थ्यको रूपमा हेर्दाखेरि सन्चै छ के अरे यताबाट हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अलिक बिसन्चो छ
बिसन्चो
मानसिक रूपमा बिसन्चो भइरहेछ
बिसन्चो होइन त्यसलाई अब रुगाखोकी लागेको भनौँ न रुगाखोकी त सिजनमा लागेन भने त फेरि एउटा
मलाई चाहिँ साँच्चै रुगाखोकी लागेको छ है।
ला
होइन अहिले त मलाई हिजो त्यहाँ कस्टमर आउनु भएको थियो 4-5 जना नर्सहरू उहाँले त मलाई त पुरै गाली पो गर्नु त पङ्कज खोइ मास्क खोइ ग्लोभ्स खोइ
कोभिड मलाई त कोभिड हो जस्तै लागिरहेको छ कि
हजुर हजुर कोभिड धेरै बढेको छ अरे अनि हस्पिटल पुरै प्याक छ अरे त्यही भएर हामी चाहिँ एकदम बी केयरफुल हुनुपर्छ अब त
मेरो पनि सिम्पटम सबै कोभिडको जस्तै छ कि पहिला कोभिड हुँदा जस्तो भएको थियो त्यस्तै
आँखियो आयो कि कोरोना भनेर आउँछ अरे यहाँ अमेरिकामा
ठिकै चिन्ता नगर्नु मरिँदैन क्यारे के गर
होइन मरिँदैन कस्तो कस्तो कोभिड त हेरेर पार गरेर आयौँ हामी मरिँदैन मरु त अब मैले भाग्यले कोरोनै भनेर लेखेर मरेको छ भने ओके छ भन्ने त हो
मलाई त त्यही त कोही बढ्यो भने कहिले त सुनाउँदै तर अब यो भन्नै सकिँदैन त्यतिकै भनिचाले अब रुगाखोकी जस्तो भइसक्यो कोभिड अब त
भइसक्यो तर सिम्टम्स मलाई पहिला जस्तो भएको थियो त्यस्तै कि घाँटी थप्पै भएको छ कि बोल्न अप्ठ्यारो हुने गरी ठ्याक्कै त कोभिडकै सिम्टम्स छ कि त्यसपछि कोभिड आयो मैले चेक चाहिँ गरेको छैन होइन
आउँदैन मैले लास्ट टाइम मलाई कोभिड जस्तै सिम्टम्स आयो गएर चेक गराएको कोभिड होइन भन्छ भने चाहिँ यो रुगासँग मिक्स भइसक्यो कि कोभिड पनि अब चाहिँ कोभिड पनि रुगासँग मिक्स भएर अब रुगा जस्तै सिम्टम्स देखाउन गाह्रो बनाउन थाल्छ कोभिडले पनि अब यो एउटा फर्म अफ रुगै नै हो कोभिड पनि अब यो अन्तिममा गएर रुगाखोकी जस्तै हुने हो हजुर अन्तिममा त त्यही हो तर अब हजुर अहिले चाहिँ त्यो सुरुमा चाहिँ गाह्रै पार्छ हौ यसले साँच्चै मलाई पनि साह्रै भन्दा मलाई कोभिड हो भनेर जताउँछु कोभिड हो मलाई कोभिड हो भन्छु पत्याउँदै उता अर्जेन्ट केयरमा गएको थिएँ कोभिड हो मलाई भन्छु होइन भन्छ अब के भन्नु
चेक गरेर नदेखाइ भन्दैनन् उनीहरूले
चेक गरेर पनि होइन भन्छन् मैले सोधेँ कोभिड हो भन्छु होइन भन्छ अब के गर्नु हजुर नभएको राम्रो हो त्यो फल्स पोजिटिभ राम्रो भन्यो बस्यो
त्यही त म त यता त हिँड्न परिरहेको छ चेक नगराएको सानो नै भनेर चेक नगराइ बस्छ तिनीहरू त घर छ पहिलाको
ए हजुर त्यही त चेक गरेर पनि के अब त्यो पहिला जस्तो सबै कोभिडमा जुन दिन्थ्यो टेस्टहरू सबै फ्री यताउति त्यो सबै सकिहाल्यो अब यो कहिलेदेखि होला यो इयरको जुलाई कि अगस्तदेखि जुन जुलाई कहिलेदेखि सक्यो अब त्यो कोभिडको बेला जुन दिएको थियो सबै सुविधाहरू त्यो सुविधा सबै हटाइसक्यो अब नर्मल वेमा जानुपर्छ कोभिड भयो भने पनि हस् ल 604 भएछ सबैजना को आउनु भएको छैन एकजना 1 2 3 4 5 6 एकजना आउनु भएको छैन हाम्रो नेत्रजी आउनु भएको छ
भर्खर हुनुहुन्थ्यो उहाँ
देखे जस्तो लाग्छ त
भर्खर हुनुहुन्थ्यो यहाँ
डिस्कनेक्ट भयो जस्तो छ फेरि आउनुहुन्छ होला ए ल लेट्स स्टार्ट द क्लास नाउ गुड मर्निङ one quick information before I start. Next week चाहिँ म बाहिर हुन्छु यहाँ अनि त्यही भएर 1 घण्टा ढिलो सुरु गर्दा हुन्छ नेक्स्ट विक
That's okay for me.
9 बजे 8 बजे छ म उता क्यालिफोर्नियातिर हुन्छु कि अनि फेरि त्यहाँ त बिहान 6 बजे हुन्छ मलाई
नभए ब्रेकमै नभए होलिडे गराउँ सर एक हप्ता के भएर
होलिडे नगरौँ पढ्न त पढ्नुपर्छ क्लासहरू सक्नै पर्छ मेरो पनि कोर्स मैले त्यसरी गर्नु विकेन्ड हो के होलिडे होलिडे नै हो नि विकेन्ड त म तर अनि अर्को विक चाहिँ एक्जाम हुन्छ है अब त्यो भन्दै अब 1 घण्टा चाहिँ 1 घण्टाको एउटा एक दिन चाहिँ अब म स्याटरडे गर्छु कि सन्डे गर्छु त्यो चाहिँ त्यही दिन थाहा हुन्छ स्याटरडे गरौँ नि त ल स्याटरडे ल 1 घण्टाको एक्जाम हुन्छ त्यो चाहिँ अहिलेसम्म एउटा अब प्रोग्रामिङ पनि हुन्छ अनि 1 घण्टा मात्रै टाइम हुन्छ है हजुर सबैजनासँग 1 घण्टामा प्रोग्रामिङ पनि गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ अनि त्यसमा सबमिसन चाहिँ त्यो प्रोग्रामको त्यो जावा फाइल सबमिट गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ जावा प्रोजेक्टलाई जिप गरेर सबै कुराहरू चाहिँ अब त्यो जुन लेखेर दिएको हुन्छ त्यो पनि लेखेर टाइप गर्नुपर्छ टाइप गरेर क्वेसन्सहरू फ्यु क्वेसन्स अनि फ्यु प्रोग्रामिङ हुन्छ त्यो चाहिँ सबै 1 घन्टाभित्र जति सक्नुहुन्छ त्यतिले गरेर त्यहाँ मलाई अनि त्यो एक्जाममा सबमिट गर्नुपर्छ है अर्को हप्ता
हुन्छ स्याटरडे
हजुर स्याटरडे Netraji limits. Okay, so yeah, so next week we'll have an exam, and let's hope everybody does best.
या विल ट्राई आवर बेस्ट
And
सिधै
it will be
सिधै
good.
फेल सर म त हात ठाडै हालेँ अहिले
होइन फेल भनेर हुँदैन यहाँ त्यसरी ग्रेड मात्रै हुन्छ अब हजुर फेड भन्ने कुरा हराइसक्यो
त्यही त नेपालमा त हराइसक्यो फेल
त्यही
भन्ने
त त्यही त
फेलै हुँदैन कोही पनि
हजुर अब
यहाँ त कहिले फेल हुँदैन
त्यही त फेल हुँदैन
होइन
ग्रेड
सर
मात्रै
मान्यता छ नि त ई ग्रेड आयो भने त फेलै सर हो नि त
सरह हो तर फेल होइन
त्यही त अब त्यही अनुसारले अब त्यही हजुर अब त्यही अब हजुर त्यही त पढ्नु पर्छ कति हुन्छ फेरि नभए नेपाल जस्तै अब दोहोऱ्याउने भन्ने हुन्छ नि यहाँ पनि त्यही हुन्छ खास गरी अब कति क्लासहरूमा सेमेस्टरमा गयो अब कहिलेकाहीँ के हुन्छ भने पढ्दै पढ्दै गयो अनि अब अन्तिमतिर आइपुग्दाखेरि त यो त अब ग्रेड बिग्रिन्छ अनि जिपिए बिग्रेपछि के हुन्छ भने अब त ओभरअल जिपिए घट्छ कि अनि यहाँ कति इन्जिनियरिङहरूमा अब ओभरअल जिपिए बढाउनलाई अब के गरिन्छ भने मेरो पनि एकचोटि ब्याचलर एउटा क्लास त्यस्तै गर्नु परेको थियो अब जिपिए सुरुमा बिग्रियो अब सी आयो क्या अरे त्यस क्लासमा सी भनेको फेल होइन सी भनेको अब भनौँ न 2 हो भनौँ न त्यसमा पोइन्टिङ जिपिए सिस्टममा त्यो त सीलाई त बी बनाउनु पर्यो भने अनि फेरि अर्को सेमेस्टर भनेको लास्ट सेमेस्टर मसँग अलिकति एउटा अलिकति 12 क्रेडिट मात्र भयो अर्को एक्स्ट्रा क्रेडिट लिएर त्यो बी सिआएको क्लासलाई फेरि दोहोऱ्याएर बीमा झारे झार्न चाहिँ गाह्रो थियो एकदम धेरै पढ्नुपर्ने मेहनत गर्नुपर्ने त्यो क्लासलाई टाइम हुँदैन थियो 5-6वटा क्लासमा अब एउटा क्लास चाहिँ अनि त्यो फेरि लिएर अनि रिपिट गरेर बीलाई ए के अरे सीलाई बी बनाएको थिएँ त्यस्तै अब त्यही
या वी क्यान
गर्नुपर्छ
डु द्याट
हजुर Okay, alright. Let's start the class now. So last week we went through some of the let me go over let me share my screen first before even
I did the one of this overloading and something is error, right? So I can share the screen if you okay.
method overloading.
Yeah.
You wanna share? Let me stop then. Okay, we'll go over that. Okay, let's see. Before we start, I want to spend some time with all of your questions. So I want to make sure. Let's spend some half an hour. I mean, I can give more than 5 minutes each. So let's spend first half an hour with each of you individual level questions anyone has, so that address all of your questions. So I'll just I can only spare only 5 minutes each. Okay, let's start then, Razi.
I think it's disconnected.
Disconnected?
Oh,
I think
he
I see
came
him.
back.
Yeah, it's something error and coming back again.
Okay, no worries. Let's start.
Okay, share. Your screen is sharing. Okay.
Okay, I can see.
Yeah,
you-
the first one is error. I try
The
to
error is because the main I said like right. See the class name. First, the class name what you provided and the you have to start from very top level for everyone, right? So this will help each of you.
yeah, this,
So if you look at first, you see the error in the first line, right? First,
Yes.
save everything. Save
Mhm.
everything. First, Control S and then save. You can save, click there or Control S.
okay.
That's why I have very habit of saying Control S because if you
Mhm.
look at the first line, it says error. Go over there and see what it says. Mouse over it. Multiple the declarer package does not match the expected package which. So what it's saying is the package that you provide, you didn't even provide the package name there. First thing, correct? You don't have a package name. So what you have this created this class under the package name. Correct? So
I
first thing you
did the
need to,
package.
so you have to
Yeah.
add the package name there. So in the code, before line 1, there should be a package. How
Oh,
to
yeah.
insert the package name? You look into one of the old examples. Yeah, there's already option, add package declaration. Do that. Just click on that one. Mouse over there. Mouse over गर्नुहोस् त त्यहाँ अघि भएको त्यहाँ होइन अघि अर्को आएको थियो नि त्यो त्यहाँ अर्को
Oh,
एररतिर
okay.
एररतिर गर्नु त एरर छ नि त सुरुमा लाइनमा 0 लाइन भन्दा यतापट्टि हो त्यहाँ
Yeah.
एड प्याकेज डिक्लेरेसन क्लिक गर्नुहोस् त हो त्यहाँ त्यो
Oh,
एड हो त्यहाँ क्लिक गर्नुहोस् हो माथि जानुहोस् त अब स्क्रोल अप गर्नुहोस् त्यहाँ के प्याकेज विकसित भने एड भयो नि
oh,
त्यो
okay.
तपाईँको मिसिङ थियो पहिला
Oh.
अब सेभ गर्नुहोस् यसलाई तपाईँको एरर तल हेर्नुहोस् दुईटा छ होइन अब एरर अहिले एउटामा छ तलपट्टि प्रब्लम्समा तलपट्टि सबसे तल छ नि एरर्स भने प्रब्लम्स पनि देखाउँछ क्या त्यहाँ पनि देखाउँछ अब मेन तपाईँको क्लास नेम तपाईँले जुन क्रिएट गर्नुभएको छ त्यहाँनिर विक 6 डे 2 भन्नुभएको छ भने यहाँ क्लास नेम चाहिँ मेन दिनुभएको छ हो
Right.
होइन त्यो नाम मिसम्याच भयो भने त एउटै नाम हुनुपर्छ क्लास एकदम नाम चाहिँ तपाईँको मिसम्याच भयो त्यही भएको हुनाले
Okay.
तपाईँले फाइल चाहिँ तपाईँको नाम चाहिँ विक WK6 डे 2 डट जावा दिनुभएको छ अनि यहाँ चाहिँ तपाईँले लाइन 3 मा हेर्नुहोस् त क्लास मेन भनेर लेख्नु भएको छ त्यो नाम एउटै हुनुपर्छ कि
Okay. Oh,
त्यसो त्यो नाम मेनलाई चेन्ज गरेर त्यो चेन्ज गर्नुहोस् त मेनलाई चेन्ज गरेर
कसरी चेन्ज गर्ने यसलाई?
है पहिला त्यो खोइ आयो त्यो हटाउनु पहिला स्किप थियो त्यो मेनमा गयो त्यहाँ हटायो नि त डिलिट गर्नुहोस् त त्यसलाई मेनलाई
यो डिलिट गरे?
हजुर जस्ट मेनलाई त्यहाँ माउस होभर गर्नु भने त्यहाँ अरू के आउँछ कि हो त्यसलाई मेनलाई डिलिट गरेर ऊ रिनेम भनेर आयो नि त हो रिनेम त्यहाँ छ ल रिनेम टाइप गर्नु त टु विक डेज हो सेकेन्ड क्लिक गर्नुहोस् त्यो आफै म्यानुअली गर्नु प्र्याक्टिस गर्न चाहिँ अलि चाहिँ दिइहाल्यो होइन भइहाल्यो त त्यही क्लिक गर्नुहोस् त डबल क्लिक क्लिक गर्नुहोस् हो ल अब सेभ गर्नुहोस् त यो प्र्याक्टिस चाहिँ गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यसरी क्लिक नगर्नुहोस् म्यानुअली
Oh,
टाइप
okay.
गर्नुहोस्
No,
ल हो अब एरर सक्यो नि त सल्भ भयो हजुरको
अब यसलाई रन गर्दा आउँछ।
हजुर रन गर्नुहोस् भयो
Mm.
यो
यो plus
मेरो
हो।
ओभरलोडिङ भयो हजुरको यही अब प्लस मेथड इन्ट प्लस मेथड डबल यो मेथड ओभरलोडिङ भएन यो त हजुरले यो सेपरेट मेथड भयो मेथड ओभरलोडिङ भएन नि त किनकि मेथड नामै दुईटा सेपरेट भएपछि कसरी मेथड ओभरलोडिङ भयो
अँ,
एउटै मेथड चाहिँ हजुरले नाम एउटै दिनुपर्छ कि मेथड ओभरलोडिङ गर्नलाई चाहिँ प्लस मेथड इन्ट प्लस डबल गर्नु भएन तपाईँले एउटै नाम दिनुपर्छ मेथडको नाम
कसरी गर्ने त्यसलाई ओभरलोडिङ?
अब 9.4 मा इन्टलाई हटाइदिनुहोस् न प्लस मेथड मात्रै राख्नुहोस् लाइन 4 प्लस मेथड इन्ट छ नि प्लस मेथड इन्टको साथ हो प्लस मेथड मात्र दिनुहोस् क्या मेथड नाम इन्ट चाहिँ हटाइदिनुहोस् आइएनटी हटाइदिनुहोस् त आइएनटी हटाइदिनुहोस् जस्ट आइएनटी मात्रै क्या लेटर हो सेभ गर्नुहोस् अनि लाइन 8 मा पनि डबल हटाइदिनुहोस् प्लस मेथड डबलको साथ हो प्लस मेथड मात्रै राख्नुहोस् त्यहाँ पनि डबल हटाइदिनुहोस् हो त्यहाँ डबल हटाइदिनुहोस् सेभ गर्नुहोस् अब तल लाइन 13 र 14 मा पनि त्यो इन्ट हटाइदिनुहोस् एन्ड लाइन 8 छ किन त्यो मेथड नाम छैन नि त हजुर त्यो हटाउनुहोस् अनि 14 मा पनि डबल हटाउनुहोस् सेभ गरेर हो अब मेथड ओभरलोडिङ अब रन गर्नुहोस् यसलाई सेभ गरेर हो यो चाहिँ भयो मेथड ओभरलोडिङ सबैजनाले बुझ्नु भएन यो सबै उहाँले के गरेको ल अब नेक्स्ट क्वेसन ल हजुरको भयो अब नेक्स्ट सुस्मिता आई सी तपाईँको नाम माथि टपमा छ ल सुस्मिताजी नेक्स्ट क्वेसन ल हजुरको 5 मिनट छ भन्नुहोस् क्वेसनहरू
मेरो
के
खास क्वेसन छैन सर आई अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड
हो ल हस् धन्यवाद पङ्कजजी
मेरो छैन सर।
हस् प्रसन्नजी
छैन सर मेरो नि अब के सोधौँ मैले
प्रत्येकजी
मेरो पनि त्यही छ सर।
हजुर केही छैन
केही छैन, नेक्स्ट टाइम चाहिँ सोध्छु सर।
ए हस् नेक्स्ट त एक्जाम हो अब
एक्जाम दिएपछि सोध्नु न एक्जाममा नजानेपछि
स्याटरडे एक्जाम छ अब त्यसपछि सोध्नु हस् ल अब म मेरो सेयर गर्छु है हस् लेट मी स्टप सेयरिङ ओके यो सेयर गरौँ यो चाहिँ हजुरलाई यता कुन चाहिँ स्क्रिन आयो ला क्याटवाला पो देख्नु पाउनु न्युज यताको
Chat वाला
उसको वाइफको होइन यो दुईटा मोनिटर छ कि एउटा कुन चाहिँ मोनिटर सेयर गर्यो भनेर यता
कोडिङै
हजुरलाई
भन्न
त्यो चाहिँ
थाल्नु
अलिक
भयो
ठुलो
होला
क्याटवाला
जावाले भन्न थाल्नु भयो होला।
यता कुन यो मोडल आइरहेछ मोडल देखिरहनु भएको छ हजुरले कि क्या देखिरहनु भएको छ अहिले
अहिले त मोडल आयो
ए हस् सो यो म एउटा एड गर्नु पर्यो विक एड टपिक विक 7 विक 7 मा आइसक्यौँ है अब सबैजनालाई थाहा पाउनु होला अब फोल्डर क्रिएट गरौँ फोल्डर डे 1 ल अहिलेलाई यति नै के गरौँ टेन्टेटिभ स्केड्युलमा जाँदाखेरि हामीले कहाँबाट के सुरु गरौँ होइन let's start where we started or where we are right now. So right now we completed the introduction to testing, introduction to STLC, introduction to testing, introduction to Java. This is also covered, I mean, a couple of weeks back. Introduction to class and method, we did it last week. So this was also covered, and a little bit more. We covered more about the Java class, method, overloading, and different kinds of readings that were supposed to be done for the class. So this was also, most of them are covered. Practical in class, which we did already, creating the Java class and method. And now we can go here. Next one is Java loop condition. So the loop conditions and Java conditions and loop, sorry. Conditions and loop means how many of you have aware of like conditions? Like, you know, if anybody read before me, or anyone have any idea about how these conditions, and they want to talk a little bit about conditions, because this is if else is one of the common we do, right? I mean, if can somebody explain the general term? What does this if else or for loop means? Can anyone? As a conceptual, as a general conceptual, like, you know, not as a I'm not asking as a coding, as a general
Like
one.
if something doesn't meet the criteria and go to the next one, like that's what I.
Right. So if
If else, like if we have a true and false conditions, and then we will use the if else.
Okay, correct. So give me one real-time example where you want to use this if-else condition. So if you can think of, we'll create a Java programming. If somebody gives me a good idea, what could be the if-else conditions and which they want to use, you know, and it could be return, could be anything. It could be Boolean, it could be numbers, it could be whichever you want. So give me a good example of if else which you want me to create. I will work on that. Anyone have any idea? Any if else condition they want me to use? And any condition, like general life condition you can think of, where you can use if, then else, if you want to do, if you get something, if you want to do something, do this, or if you don't want to do something, do something else. Any example which I can use for this class? Because I want to use that people understand that what we are trying to do is mainly
Or we can do like if you are under 18, like you can't vote. Like, can we do that?
yeah, I can do that too. Okay, if you want a voting, that we can do this. Okay, let me start then. All right, let's start. You want a voting one? Anyone has? So see, since Susmita ji says voting, I will use the voting. Okay, so if you look, what we'll go is now, since we understand some of the return type, right? So we'll always sometimes we'll use void, but most of the time we'll try to use the return type, and then we'll process that return type. Okay, I mean, the main method can be up or down, but usually depends upon the person's choice. They can use anywhere. So I created a new package, project, and then within this I create a new package. Under this I create a new class if else. So then I'm going to create a public. So you want to vote equal to, I'm going to do first Boolean. So we are returning the Boolean type, okay, is eligible, and always, oh my bad, I should have started with uppercase. I made a mistake. Okay, class would always start with uppercase. Sometimes if you mouse over it, right, if you see the error, what it says, rename file to which. So see, now my file name and the class name is same because this is the class file name, right? So I did it, I made
Sometimes
it
it's
upper.
confusing which the file name and which the package name.
Oh, package name is on the top. This is the package name. Week 7 is the package name, and this is the file name. So file name and class name should be the same. Okay, if you see here, the file name is also, basically we're creating a class. So this file name, whatever you create, and the class name should be the same. Is eligible to vote. Then we're going to use int is. So since she said, do you want to see, okay, add return statement. Okay, for now, I'm going to say false. Okay, this is just because to resolve the issue. Now I'm going to, I create a method which returns if you are eligible to vote or not. So if I look, I use the naming convention also. So this is another important thing you have to remember is what kind of naming convention I use. I said Boolean is eligible to vote. So when I do that, what I'm supposed to do, what I'll do is I'll say Boolean int age, right? Okay, and this method takes the parameter integer, and what you're going to say is age. Now I'm going to switch Boolean because I have to return the Boolean type, right? Boolean is eligible equals to, I'll say false for now. Okay, and I'm going to write a condition if is greater than 18. Then again, if condition, if you look at this bracket opens, if statement, lowercase I, lowercase f, bracket opens, I'm going to, because I'm passing this age greater than 18, and then bracket again, after that you got flower bracket created, and if I just hit enter, it will create the close the bracket too. So if age is in, make sure this all our syntax is correct. Then is eligible equals to true, right? Else sometimes you can just, we should always first practice with bracket also. Else also it starts with, if you start with bracket, else you can just put it else itself. So if with a condition, else with this say without condition, is eligible equals to false. And I'm gonna say return because in the beginning I used false because just to resolve the issue, I'm gonna say is eligible. So now if you look at what I'm doing here is, I created a method which returns the Boolean type and which checks whether the person is eligible to vote or not. And for that, I used a parameters, and I am saying that if age is greater than 18, is eligible, else not eligible. And whatever this method, what this method return is Boolean is eligible. So this is the value that variable that will be returned. So now public static void main is the main method, right? So I have to say is, since I am trying to return the Boolean, it's always good practice to return the same Boolean am I eligible to vote. So I'm going to create a method. So for simplicity, I'm saying, am I eligible to vote? So what I'm going to do is I created a variable Boolean type is eligible to vote method. I'm going to call this method and I'm going to pass the parameter as is 17, right? So, and every statement goes with semicolon. So remember that. So what happened? Oh, I gave a wrong name. Okay. Well, then sometimes I do copy paste. Oh, yeah. Why I'm saying this error? Now, anybody can remember? Okay, I realize that there is an error. I saw an error. Why I'm seeing this error? Do you know anyone?
That's a double quotation. I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, because I'm passing as a string, but it's expecting the integer. First thing. That is one error, right? It's resolved now. Because it is passing as age as integer. Earlier I was passing as a string. So that's the first error I made. Second thing is, again, I see an error. Why? If you mouse over
Yeah.
it, go ahead. It
Turn
says
in
something. Anybody?
cannot make static reference to non-static method.
So what could be the solution?
Change the eligible to vote to statics.
Because what happened is this method which I created is, I didn't say it's a static method. In order to call a static method, the static method can only be directly called. If the method is not static, then I have to create an object of that method. Correct? Remember
Mhm.
everyone that?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want me to do? You want me to use static, or do you want me to use the which I'll get the class prefer? Do you want me to use static or make an object out of it?
Yeah, let's
Static.
make an object. We'll have
Okay.
practice.
Okay.
Right.
Week 7 underscore if else. I'm first class name. I'm gonna say if else as a class object name, and new. This is always new keyword. Week 7 underscore if else. I created an object of a class, right? With name, object name is if else. So like now, in order to call this method, what I need to do is I need to make if else. First, I have to make the class name, and then I have to use apostrophe dot. And look at now when I did that, I can call this method. Does everybody sees this?
Mhm.
Now I'm going to do is system. That's why so because I have to cheat. I like to cheat. So am I eligible to vote? I'm going to print this. So I'm going to say, am I eligible to vote? I'm going to say question mark and then a space. And then I'm going to do plus so that I'm adding it. Am I eligible to vote? So you see this now.
Mhm.
This is what I'm doing is I'm calling this boolean. I'm printing the boolean, but I'm just adding the another string on top of it. Okay. Now let's run this program. See, am I eligible to vote? It's false. See that? Everybody see this? So that means you are not eligible to vote. So this is what the whole if else condition is. How to use if else condition? Let me make this high screen doubles. So what I did, so I created an if condition where I added a condition that first I created a method is eligible to vote. So what I did is in that I added if condition. If age is over than 18, then I'm eligible to vote. If I'm less than 18, I'm not eligible to vote. So that's what the condition. Now when I passed the value, I said 17. That's the reason I am not eligible to vote. Or no, sorry. Another thing I'll do is 18. Okay. Then let's try example 18. This is also good. I need to do, so let me run this. Why did I get 18 also false?
It's not like equal or greater.
Yes, it says greater than 18. I never said greater than or equals to 18, right? So now in reality, what happened? Okay, my bad. So if I want to be eligible to vote, it should be greater than or equals to 18. You can vote, right? You have to be 18 years and older, not 18 years over 18 years old. Over 18 years old means 19 years old. But in this condition, we have to greater than or equals to. So let me run this program. It says true now. See this? Earlier I said greater than 18 years old should be able to vote, but now I changed the condition, said greater than or equals to condition. So whenever I pass the 18 here, it says I'm eligible to vote. Now I put 19, should be the same. I should be eligible to vote. See, am I eligible to vote? True. Okay. Do everyone understand this concept? Like how does if else conditions and this method, all this stuff work?
False and true is to long conditions.
Yeah, yeah. False and just
Just for true word is syntax is a a lot of things we have to remember.
Oh yeah. And yeah, the Boolean type is true and false. And like here, like maybe I may not have told you, false comes all lowercase false or lowercase true, and we are returning this Boolean. So this is the Boolean type, if else condition. So okay, this is one example of
Sir,
if else.
like one more, like if it's a condition is like you have to age 18 and below 35 or some kind of thing, then how do we add these two together?
Sure, we can do that
Like
too. So
yeah, and
then
the
I
same.
need a separate example. So you want to do
Yeah, let's
let's
say
do
like
one thing.
you to apply for a post, you have to be 18 and below
18 to
above
35.
18, below
something.
35.
Okay, do you want in the same this is simple method. I will do it. I'll create a new class then. Okay. Let's create a class.
New classes.
Okay. Week 7 underscore job no, you army, because job is not, one second, give me a second. Oh, my phone is almost dying. So
Yeah,
army US army is
requirements.
requirement. Okay, I created a class with US army. Okay, let me do this then. So now this is we're going to create a, let me remove this. So now the requirement is public. Let me okay. This time I'll create a static. Okay, the last one I didn't create a static. Now I'm going to create a static. So here you want the Boolean return type. I'll say again Boolean. Okay, is eligible for US Army. Okay, int is. So now what I'm saying is, are you eligible for? Now let's say Boolean equals to age. Oh, sorry. Age equals to false. For now, I'm going to declare as false. Age eligibility, I will say. Okay. For now, I'm going to say return age eligibility. Okay. And just to make sure it doesn't give any error. So now there's no error in the code. If age
Greater than
is
35.
less, no, we'll do, first thing we'll do, age is less than 18. Make sure less than 18. We can write a condition saying that Boolean is
False.
eligibility. Oh, sorry, I already declared, my bad. Is eligibility equals to false. Then I'm gonna print. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna print here itself this time. So last time I printed on the main method, I'm gonna print here, saying you are not eligible to apply for US Army. Okay, let's say this one for now. If age is greater than or equals to,
35.
remember that, greater than or equals to 18, and age is less than or equals to 35,
35.
then it goes this way.
It's not or, right? It's and.
And yeah, not or, and means it both the conditions should verify. Then you're gonna say system. So then I'm gonna print your age is between 18 and 35. You are eligible for US Army. Okay, and you're gonna say Boolean, sorry, age eligibility equals to true. Now next condition will do. If age is greater than 35, right?
Yes.
You're gonna say system, print again, you are above the maximum age allowed, which is 35 years. Okay, And then I'm gonna say again is eligibility equals to false. Correct? Let's do this one then. So I created a condition where if you look at age, I added 3 conditions. First, I have to be less than 18. Second, then I have to be between 18 and 35, greater than or equals to 18, and age is less than or equals to 35. And another one is if age is greater than 35. Okay. Then I'm gonna say in this condition, what I did is instead of doing else, I should do is I can do both. Else if and I can just do is else if too. Else I'm gonna say else if. Okay, they can do that also. Let's try this one first. If only. Then I'm gonna do. I have to explain a little bit about how these things work, right? And then I'm gonna say else. Okay, system.out. You provided wrong age. The age must be positive. Okay, let's see. And I'm gonna do that first one. Let's see. Okay, what happens? Now I'm going to call the method. Okay, Boolean US Army age eligibility.
Case sensitive or
This is method. I'm creating this method variable name, right? Method name you can give anything, but always make sure you use camel case and start with the method variable and method. Always standard practices start with a lowercase. Okay? So that way you are easy for you to understand. So let's say now 5. Now in this case, if you look at here, even though I don't even have to provide because I'm not printing here, right? So last time I print everything. This time I'm just because everything is inside this system. This is a way of writing, different ways of writing the programming. So in this case, I wrote everything under the print everything is under this method itself. Earlier I printed in the main method. So it's different ways of doing the things, okay? But you can do any way you want. Let me see, run as Java application. Okay, what happened here?
Eligible to apply for mission.
You are not eligible to apply for US Army. So this is when I said when I provided 5, what it did is it's saying that I am not eligible because the age I provided is 5. Correct? Now next thing I can do is let's do one thing. Maybe I'll try in this one also because I could call this method multiple times too. So another option is I can provide different types. Okay. What I'll do is one second. So I'm gonna print here. I can try is I'll do this way. I'm gonna say is 5, and then I'm gonna do this way. Okay, this way what happens is I know what I'm sending, right? Just to make sure is this is another way you can call the method multiple times also. That's the reason I'm trying to demo this one. Is I'm gonna do 18. Okay, and I'm gonna say it this way, and I'm gonna plus. Because this is all important because remember how I'm writing the bracket close, upper close. This is really, sometimes people really make mistake on that. Uh-oh, did I do something? Okay, my bad. I thought I did system.printed out. Okay, one second. Control C. Okay, I'm gonna call the same method 4 times. I'm gonna say is here 18.
25,
Okay, you want 25 here? I'll do 25. And what else do you want?
35,
35,
36.
36. Okay. Let's try the 4 age and let's provide the same age here also. What happened? Well, system hanged. Okay. Sometimes the Eclipse does that. Not responding, it's just hang. So let it run for a while. Don't touch. And if you do click something, it will just crash. So this is all software. So let's wait. Let's if you see this something moving right like this around, it means something is loading. And if you see here, it says not responding. Give it some
Oh.
time.
Mm.
When this happens, give it some time. But you understood, right, what I'm doing here? It's all about practice and practice. And also it think of how you can use in the common ways, like how you can design. I mean, these are all syntaxes, right? This all comes when you practice more, like, and then I solve Raji issues, right? So this is other ways, finding out what is the problem. And whenever I provide some kind of solution, always remember those kind of stuff. And because that is important to know. So see, some is loading now. I don't know what happened to it. It's still loading. It's not responding. It's very light program. It should not do this, but it's a software. Oh yeah, and Netraji, you are out. So next Saturday, we'll start 1 hour late. I will be in the east. I'll be in the California. So we'll start from 7. 7. Oh, sorry, not 7.
9 in Texas.
9 in Texas. Yes.
Yeah,
So
I
9.
just got
10.
disconnected.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
10 for me in Pennsylvania.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Raji. Are you okay with that, Raji?
Yeah, 10 is fine.
Okay. If not, I will do is I will. Let's do that. Yeah. So and also there is we'll have a midterm on Saturday. 1 hour. There will be questions and there will be programming both, and we'll have 1 hour to complete that. So that's a midterm for this class.
That day?
Yeah,
The
on
same day?
Saturday. On Saturday, yes. And it will be all topics include from all the since we started. And so questions, there will be questions. You can open any notepad or any place to answer that. And the programming also you have to write the program and you have to submit the whole thing as make it a zip folder, and the programming and answers all as a zip and submit it to the only the class file I need. I don't need everything, right? I just need a class file. I mean, file in a sense how I shared, right? So I just need the class file shared with me and the some term. I mean the writing, some of the writing. I mean, try not to use as much as you know what you can. I mean, try not to use the internet. I can restrict that, but see how much you can. I mean, if you can try to avoid the internet. That's all I can say. Okay, let's try. Okay, error gone. It's loading down. 25, 35. Oh, missed the bracket. And 36. Let's save this off. So let's run the program. Okay, let's see. I call the method 4 times. You are not eligible for apply to US Army. First thing you got for the AS5, right? What is it? Oh, I get you. What did happen? What happened is since I have print statement, 1 second. Why did it do that?
It's
Is
saying
5.
you are provided wrong age.
No, no. What happened is since this method, when this method is called, before you print this method, there is a system.out_print here, right? So it will print this statement first before even I print the this system.out_prints age 5. So if you look at here, it says you are not eligible to apply for the US Army. So it printed. So when I say 5, you are not eligible to US Army. If you second time you provide 18 and your age is between 18 and 35, you are eligible for US Army. So last thing what I wanted to say, you see that extra field, right? You provided age wrong. Every time it is printing here, right? See this? You provided age wrong age, wrong age, wrong age. You know why this happened? Anyone can guess? I know maybe it's hard to.
Because you wrote it over there and provided wrong age.
No, because I provided else. So what happens is if is not a statement, it's a if else. What if does is, if you provide if only, it will condition if with this if there is no else. With this if there is one else. So what happens is, if condition, how the code works is, it goes line by line. It goes to the line 17. When you call this method, it goes to the line 15. It creates an object. It's like how the compiler works. It goes to this line. It says each a is less than 18. First thing to see 5. Yes, then print this. What happens is, next time when it give if a statement, it will say, okay, now after this if is done, there's no condition with this. If is done here, end of the if statement. Now if we go, it will go to line 22, because we said that we added another if condition, right? Because we added another if condition. This is this if, how it works is, if else is a block. It's a combined code. You cannot just use just if and say, I mean, if you want, you can use if like this, but what happens in this way, you are asking the compiler to go and run the code again and again. I mean, all line by line. But now, since I know all these conditions are same conditions, what happens in the code, there will be, if you look in the real time, there will be this kind of code will be one sample, and there will be multiple if conditions, because there are different variables they may be checking. They may be checking age, then they may be checking race, they may be checking your height. That could be different if condition, right? But here we are only validating the age, but there could be condition in the method where there could be testing, because age is not only the restriction for you to apply for the US Army, right? Another one is your race, your height, your weight. All those things may matter. Like in US, it doesn't matter. But if you go to, there are some basic requirement, very low level. But if you go to in Nepal or somewhere, there is like 5'4" or 5'5" is the minimum height you have to be. You have to have certain weight, certain running conditions. Those are all conditions, I'm saying. But we are only validating the age here. So we are, all our conditions are combined together. Means this is one logic. So instead of that, what happens when I said if condition here, this will run the condition here, and it will again run the condition 21. But I don't want to run the condition 21, because first condition itself I provided 5. It matches this condition. I'm done. So in order to do that, what is this other condition is called else if. Okay, else if. When I run this now, what I'm saying is, if condition is greater than 18 doesn't match, then go to else condition. So you can have else if is also a condition. So now let me run this program. You saw this one, right? I have this, you provided the wrong age and stuff populating. Let me run it again. See, that condition is gone. Why it is gone means, earlier when I was providing, it ran line by line. Now when I run this code, what happens is, if the age is less than 18, right? The first call is age 5 we provided. In first call, when you say age is less than 18, yes, correct, then done. It will go directly to the return eligibility. Second condition, when you provided is eligible for US Army age 18, we provided, right? Age is 18. Second condition is age less than 18, no, right? Then what will do? Else. It will go to, it will see how the code works. It will go and read this line 17. Does this condition match? No. 18 is not less than 18. 18 is equals to 18, right? Then it will go to second condition, else if. Else means if, then else. Then it says is 18, right? It says 18 years old. So if else if age is greater than or equals to 18 and age is less than, yes, this matches the condition. When this 18 matches this condition, it will go into the line 23 and says, okay, let's print this number. See, it will print this statement. What happens after that? It will assign the variable this as true, and it's going to say age 18 equals to true. See this? That's what it prints. Age equals to true. And if you go to the, and what happens after that, since this else condition is matched, right? Directly it will go to age eligibility, and it will return the term, return the value. So it's like a mathematics. Like in math, what happens if this condition valid, go do this. If this is not valid, do this. So this is the mathematics way it works. It doesn't work like, just go line by line. So if you look at the third one, 25, right? 25 also falls in between these two. It will say is age less than 18? No. Next condition. If else if age is greater than 18 and less than 35, yes, then what it will do is it will go to hit this condition. It will print, and you will not even hit this code. This portion of code will not be, the compiler will never go to this code. Third is 35, same thing. It will go 35. It will just hit this line. It will go inside here, and it will return, and it will end the program. Now fourth one is 36. What happens here is it will say if the age less than 18. No, 36 is greater than 18. Is age less than 18 greater than greater than 18 and less than 35? No, because 36 is greater than this condition is also not matched. Third condition is age greater than 35. Yes. Then if this condition is met, what I'm saying is then only the code will compiler will go to this code. It says system.out print you are above the maximum age of 35. Age 35 is false. Age eligibility equals to false. Correct? So this is how it goes. And now see if all this condition match, I never saw this one, right? Why I didn't say is else condition. So right now, let me try something how to hit, because 0 is also that, right? Let's see if negative condition considered or not. I think it shouldn't consider negative. Yeah, I think integers also consider negative, right? So let's see. The else condition will never hit. It says you are not eligible. One second. Age 15 is what it says. Did it print something? 36 provided. Age equals to 1 second 5 false. Age equals to false. Okay, directly print. Oh my bad. Is negative 15. Let's run this one. Age negative equal to false, but it didn't print anything. You are not eligible to apply. Why? Oh, because it's considered this number as Boolean. Okay, so let's do one thing. No, negative is also integer less than 18, right? So it didn't consider that. So 15.5. It will not consider that. How do I make it? Oh, I made this condition. Well, what I'll do is greater than 35 and oh sorry, my bad. And age is less than 100. Okay. And if you say that, I'll provide the age of 101. So in this case, I'm providing the age as 101, which is not in our condition, right? In this 3 condition, here first condition is less than 18. Second is 18 to 35. Third is 35 to 100. And fourth condition we don't have, means it could be above 100, correct? So in that case, what I'm saying, you provided the wrong age, means you wrong age for the US Army. Okay. And let me run this program now. See, it says that when I provide 101, it says you provide the wrong age in the US Army. So what happened in this case is my 101 is not within this else if else condition, correct? If I see here, if you look at here, the 101 is not here. You don't see 101 anywhere. What is this means? Since I said that print me when I provided the variable integer as 101, it's saying that your age is going to the hit else statement. How that it works is now whenever I call this method as with 101 variable like age is 101, first it will go to this age. Is age get less than 18? So when age means what it will do is internally, okay, 101 is less than 18. No, then it will go to next else condition. Is 101 less than greater than 18 less than 35? No. If 101 greater than 35 less than 100? No. Then it will go here because now we don't have that condition. Now else, for everything else, whatever you provided other than that, I'm gonna say is it will go to else. If 101 else means what it does, if all these conditions are not met, whatever you have if, else if all these conditions are not met, then only it will hit the else condition. So in this case, what happened is since none of this condition match, and it will hit the else condition, and 101 is because we provided some condition that logic we don't have in the code, it went and hit the else statement. And this statement, it says you have provided ages for the US Army. So that's the reason you see that the last statement when you provide 101 age, it says you provided wrong age for the US Army. Did this if else condition make sense to everyone?
Yes, but we need to practice,
Okay. I mean, but at least you understand the concept of right else if and else if and if and else. So because the simple example there was if else only, right? Where we provided the boolean, where we provided the here also we are returning boolean. Oh, every time we shouldn't return boolean. This should be something else too. But practice some other stuff also. I mean, right now I'm only returning boolean, right? So for now that is true and false is also okay. But then this is anyway. This is, you understand the concept of Boolean and if else, right? Everyone. I mean, just it's generic terms also, right? If you are in if you get a US visa, if you have or you can come to US. If you don't get a US visa, you don't come to US. You can come to US, right? That's a simple example. So if condition, if you get sometimes you get if you get a DV, you come to US. If you don't have if you don't get accepted DV, you don't come to US. So those are like simple conditions, like in a real life conditions, right? Think of if else condition as a real life condition. Certain times it will be programmatically also there will be conditions that will apply, right? So if else condition is, that's how the total if else condition is used. So there are two types of if condition: if else. Another one is if, else if, and else. Okay. You saw that once I use 100, just this one, it will show something. What happens if I don't even have this condition? Okay, let me remove this condition for now, and I'll run this program. See, it didn't know what to do. What it did nothing. It didn't print anything, right? Because we didn't have that condition at all. When you don't have that condition, program is saying that 100, because what happens is when I provided 101 and I don't have that logic to handle it in my code, in my method, what happens is first thing it will do is, if you go to this method, since I call this method, it will go to this method is 101. What it will do is age eligibility equals to false. I said that first thing I declared as false in the beginning itself, right? This variable I declared age eligibility as false. Now it will hit the if condition. It will not match. If you hit this condition, it will not match. If it is this condition, if it don't match, it has nothing. So no logic to handle that code. What it will do is it will directly go here and see age eligibility, whatever I have provided, it says false. It will pass the false statement. And if you see here, this is what it is. It prints age 101 equals to false. Because it didn't have any logic. But if when I added this condition, what happens? I had this else condition to handle that logic. So usually remember, if else condition not necessarily means if you are above or not. It means that some error handling or error conditions or loop conditions. So what happens is sometimes you provide different data type or different conditions that is not matching. In that case, you always want to handle that condition in an else condition. Okay, so remember that. Next topic we'll go is for loop. So which is also, all these things have to be, I mean, practiced. So next condition is our, one second, W3C school. So W3C school, let's see if they have control if else condition. Oh, here you go. I'll go over here. So there are some conditions also, like practice this condition. So for you, let me write this. Okay. Let me, oh, not here. Where do you go? Sure, model. Model. Okay, here we go. So let me add this. Let me see. Files. Directly files. Okay. Let me add Java if else. Okay. Let me add these files now so that everyone is aware. I don't want to mess with this. One second. You know how I show in System Explorer. Right click on that. So in System Explorer, you will see these files that I created, this class file. So I'm going to copy all both two and drag here. So it's uploaded Java if else. Okay, if else. Okay, I'll update that later. Save and return to the course. So Java if else is also added here. And let me add another items. Okay, SLB assignment also you can say. I can say it as assignment. Go over the if else conditions from the W3C school. I mean, you can go for other options. This is my, I want you to go over this one because it has some very high level and it doesn't have much concept, but it's very high level. Okay, so go over the if else condition and practice. Okay, no, I don't need anything. So this is a practice for you. So if you go over this, I'll go one very quickly. So don't worry about the switch now. see this Java condition if statement. This is what we did right now. Less than equal to, greater than equals to. Yeah, this I didn't practice, but practice this one. Equals to and not equals to. Yeah, this is something you can also practice on your own. At least we did some sample, right? So if you look at what are the conditions they have used, if conditions, this if use the if statement to specify a block of Java code to execute if a condition is true. That's what we did, right? If example below, we test two values to find 20 is greater than 18. If condition is true, print some text. So if 20 is greater than 18, we did even better than this. We didn't even just print it. We print and we return the value also. So we went one step above this example. So if you look at here, they provided those conditions. So we can compare events too. So this is a good example where if you want to go from basics, right? How this if condition works, you can start with this one. If x is greater, so what you can do is if x is 20, right? Provide here x is say y is 22, then let's provide 22. What it says. See, so this is how you need to oh, it's running like it doesn't know what to do. You need to put else, okay. It didn't know what to do because it didn't have a condition. See that? Do you see this? It didn't have conditions. It doesn't know what to do now. Okay, let me close this bracket. Else because system.out y is greater than x. So if you run this one, you see earlier since I didn't have x condition, it failed.
Error.
What error it is saying? Oh yeah, see, I didn't have this bracket. Now it will fail. Maybe typo. See, y is greater than x. Earlier, when I provided send, it didn't do anything because the logic wasn't handled. Now I added else condition to handle that logic. It's printing this because earlier I didn't say even print. No logic was handled in the code. So now when I add else condition, it started working. So go over this example, and there is, if you have any questions, anything, when you go over it, it will make more sense to you. Now I think since you have some example to look into it, and yeah, I think what is this shorthand for if else? Don't go over this one. This is Java. It will be more confusing. Don't study this shorthand. Okay, this is this is Java 8. It will be more confusing. Yeah, don't use this one. Okay, for now, just study this if else only. So I think I added only this link, right? Yeah, just go over this also as a part of assignment for next week. Okay, let's take a break, and we'll be back in 10 minutes.
विवेक सर
हजुर
विवेक सर आई निड हेल्प त्यो हजुरलाई मैले अस्ति भनेको थिएँ नि त के अरे मैले त्यो स्प्रिङ चेन्ज गरेँ अनि हार्ड डिस्क पनि चेन्ज गरेको सर अनि मैले हिजो तपाईँको सेटअप गर्दै थिएँ सेटअप गर्दाखेरि त्यो इन्भाइरोमेन्ट सेटअपमा गएर मलाई झ्याउ लागेको त गर्दा काममा पनि थिएँ कि हजुरको दिउँसो कुनै टाइम फ्री हुनु सक्नुहुन्न न सर यसो हजुरलाई देखाएर एकचोटि त्यो सेटअप गरिहाल्नु पऱ्यो भनेर सर
तो यानी के इन्भाइरोमेन्ट के मिलेन त इन्भाइरोमेन्ट भेरिएबल त प्र्याक्टिस गर्दाखेरि
त्यहाँ हजुरको नि त्यहाँ त्यो के अरे प्याचमा गए त्यो सिस्टम सेटिङमा एडभान्समा गएर त हजुरको त्यो प्याचमा गएँ अनि जाभा होम पनि माथि देखेँ मुनिपट्टिको चाहिँ त्यही डाइरेक्ट क्वेरीमा गएर चाहिँ हामीले प्रोग्राम फाइलको जाभालाई गएर क्लिक गर्नुपर्ने होइन सर
त्यहाँ स्टेप्सहरु त मैले त्यहाँ लिंकहरु छ त स्टेप्सहरु फलो गर्नुपर्छ
हजुर हजुर मैले सबै त्यहाँबाट त्यहाँ तीबाट हेर्दै गरेको थिएँ कि सकिहाल्छु भनेर तीबाट हेर्दै गरेको थिएँ अन्त अलिकति नमिले जस्तो भयो कि त्यही म एकचोटि ट्राई गर्छु फेरि अहिले अब के अरे अफिसमा गएर ट्राई गर्छु सर
भोलि ट्राई गर्नुहोस् आज फेरि त्यो लिङ्कहरु किनकि त्यो प्र्याक्टिस गर्न इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ क्या अब लिङ्कहरु अब सबै ठाउँमा त अब अहिले एकचोटि देखाइसकेपछि के हुन्छ भने अब इन्डाइरेक्ट भन्नुहोस् काममा जानु फेरि यो सबै गर्नु पर्यो भने त फेरि काममा गएर त म हुन पनि सक्छु नहुन पनि सक्छु नि त अब यो त एकचोटि प्र्याक्टिस गरिसकेपछि त यो त फेरि प्र्याक्टिस त्यो ट्राई गर्नुपर्छ क्या एकचोटि भइसकेपछि अब त आइडिया बेसिक हुन्छ लिङ्कहरु भइसकेपछि ठ्याक्क त्यही प्र्याक्टिस गरिरहनुपर्छ कहाँ भएन अब त्यो एकदम डिटेलमा जानुपर्छ क्या अब भोलि ट्राई गर्नुहोस् अनि भोलि आफ्टर द क्लास ट्राई गरौँला भोलि ट्राई गरौँ आफ्टर क्लास ल आज 10 ब्रेक लिउँ है एकछिन 10 मिनट
ओके
ल बाई Let me screen. सबैजना आउनुभयो? Let me check को हुनुहुन्छ. आउँदै हुनुहुन्छ. Okay. This is one I can use here. सबैजना आउनुभयो?
I'm back. I don't know about that.
ए हस्. So अब if
Okay.
else but thank you. Let's go to the next one. So if you look at the curriculum, we did if else condition for the first. So since we have time, I think I'll start with the for loop also. This is while loop may start next week, but let's see if I will do some while and switch. And for loop is where I want to start. Okay. So in this case, for loop is can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go over the W3C school also, right, there is for loop example. It talks about something. Let me see. It doesn't talk much about the for loop. So
For loops.
it's very basic. It takes. Okay. So let me go over the one second. Let me attach this one also for the for loop, just in case if somebody wants to go over, right? For loop is a control. Yeah, this is also good. Yeah, this I like this one. You can look into these conditions. Let me do that also. Okay. Not this one. Where to go? Model. Maybe different mode. Okay. Is it reading assignment? Anything? Assignment. Okay. Go over the for loop. Okay, I'm gonna send this one. Okay. And the another one I want to say is this one. This is Wikipedia. You can go over the Wikipedia also. And look into this diagram because this is where I want to, don't look over the front, just the diagram. What it's trying to say is for loop is a iterative. Iterative means iteration, right? Like for we talked about the agile. Okay. So let me take an example of agile and start the for loop. Okay. So this is one of the good example where you can use a for loop. So how the things work? Let me build a paint. Okay. Let me see if I can build one. So in real life example of agile. Okay. So my diagram, I'm not a very good drawer, so I can draw beautiful. So just bear with me. So what happens is, let's say this is a one block of code. This is a add. One second, let's write it. Sprint one. Maybe it's lower, right? Let me do if I can zoom in. Where do you go? Oh, okay, here you go. This is a sprint one. Oh, it's too big now. Okay. Let me copy the same thing again. One second. Next thing would be where to go? No. Home. Sprint 2. Sprint 2. What is the average duration of a sprint? Anyone? Anyone wants to say?
Minutes, 15 minutes.
Sprint. Average duration of a sprint. That is sprint meeting. Scrum meeting. That is sprint.
Scrum meeting.
Yeah. Anyone?
Sprint 2
Sure.
hours.
What is the average duration of a sprint? Standard.
2 hours.
Sprint is
2 to 3 weeks, I think.
Correct. 1 to 3 weeks you can say, but usually and on an average standard is 2 to 3 weeks, but people have from 1 week to 4 weeks. That is, but when you ask, somebody will ask you how long was the sprint. Usually it's on an average. Wherever I worked in the company, one company had 3 weeks, but all of them had 2 weeks sprint. So you can say sprint is a not, let me do this one. I'll add here.
So what is the best answer? 1 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks?
1 to 3 weeks you can say. But on an average, you can say I work for the like on an average, most of the companies uses the 2 weeks sprint. You can say that. Just say that as on an average. Okay. So now what happens is I have this 4 sprint, right? After the 4 sprint means is say on an average, the sprint duration is, let me type that also, 2 weeks sprint. 2 weeks sprint. Okay, I cannot do that again. Okay, 2 weeks. Okay, sprint. Okay, and think this way. If you have 2 weeks sprint, you have 4 weeks, 4 sprint. Control C, Control V. Where you go this way? No. Sprint sometimes it doesn't like it. Can I drag it? I'm not a good. Okay, I'll try here 2 weeks sprint too. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So say example 2 weeks, and every release is every 4 months. I mean 2 months. Say for now. Means how many? This is a what happens is what is a release? Anyone? Software release. I don't think I talked about it, but what is a software release?
New product launch.
Yeah. So version 1. So what is happening is a product every few months or every combination of sprint is the final product release version. So release and version means version is what version did you release? Like book version, we have different version, right? Similarly, what happens is after we work in multiple sprints or multiple combinations, say if every 2 months there is a release. Okay, so if I say here software is this here 2 months, every 2 months a release, software a software release. So what happens is now there is every 4 weeks there is a release. Every 2 months, which means every after 4 sprint there is a release. So what is this means is in software development lifecycle, when you do this, you have to repeat it, right? Version 1 is not the overall control. If that is, I mean, overall goal. In agile methodology, it's a repetitive. You deliver something every sprint. You deliver something every 4 weeks. There is a release. 4 weeks. I mean, 2 months there's a release. After 4 sprint there's a release. So there is a release also comes every few months. You have a release. So what is that I'm trying to say here is this is a loop statement. So what happened every 2 months will go. Now this everything what you've done, right? Let me select if I can select this. Control C, maybe Control V. 1 second. Can I print somewhere? No, I didn't like it. Maybe I'll do the Word document. Let me see if I can print. I don't have Word in this system, so let's see. Oh, let me save this first. Give me a second. Let me see if I can print this one. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna get this. Folders. Come on. New folder. Week 7. Okay, if I go here, I'm gonna create a Word document. Okay, this is the one I wanted to stay. Okay, Control V. Uh-oh, did it like it? No. 1 second. Let me select this one. Let me select Control C. V, Control V. So what happens is, first iteration is done. Then what happens? Then sprint 4, sprint 5, sprint 6, sprint 7. And this process will be repeated. Every release, what will happen is this process will be repeated again and again. So if we want to print or repeat this process, means we are in a loop. So this is a loop condition. So one of the condition where you see what is a loop, for loop is a conditions which we are looping again and again. So this is one of the sample of a real-time example of looping. Another iterative. If you look at this, what it's saying is iterative. So what it's trying to say is you'll start at some level, like sprint. Then you say sprint is less than 4 or equals to 4. Then what you want to do is you want to make it is a release, something release, and then you will add it again. So that loop condition. So what does the loop for loop has is what you want to start with conditions. If the condition what is initially starting, if the condition is met, if it is true, you will get whatever statement you want. If it is false, it will end the program. So if you look at these conditions, where did it go? For loop, what it's saying is when you know exactly how many times you want to loop through block of code, use the for loop instead of while loop. For statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, this is the syntax. So if you look at this is the syntax to be for the for loop. So statement 1 is executed one time before the execution of the code block. Statement 2 defines the condition of execution of the code. Statement 3 is the execute every time after the code of block has been executed. This example below will print the number 0 to 4. So let me go over this condition. So what I have done is just don't look over any other thing. We only need to focus on this for loop. Okay. So if you look at this for loop, what it is doing is it has a syntax starts lowercase f and it starts a bracket. Integer. So integer I say integer I equals to 0 means I have an initial point. I want to if you want to loop through, I need to know which sprint I want to sprint, right? My sprint, I will say instead of I'll use sprint. Okay. Sprint equals to 0 means sprint equals to 1. Okay. Sprint 1 and sprint plus plus sprint plus. So I said sprint equals to 1 means first sprint. Sprint or sometimes it starts with 0 also, but some company preferred 0, some company doesn't prefer 0. So let's say sprint they prefer sprint 1. And when I is less than 5 means 1 means up to 4 means sprint. Sorry, not I sprint. Sprint is less than 5. And what is saying is first condition is I need to starting condition. Sprint equals to 1. Second condition is I need to start with the sprint is less than or equal to 5. So means I have if less is equal to or maybe sprint is less than or equal. I can say less than or less than 5 means up to 4, right? Which means sometimes people will do less than equals to 5 or sometimes people can do less than 5, which means less than equals to 4 means it's up to 4. And another condition is let me do another thing. I'll do one thing. I'll have two condition. Okay. Less than or equals to 4. This is something example. Okay. So one condition I can say if less than or equals to 5, do something. If less than 5, another one less than or equals to 4. This is the condition that is met. So what it will do is sprint 1 first initial starting up to, this means up to the condition that you want to run. And what is this means what you want to do with iterative. So third condition is statement is saying that I want from sprint 1 to 5 and add each. Plus plus means add 1 to each. Means sprint add sprint. That's what it is saying is add sprint. So let me print this one. Okay. So if you want to run anything as an iterative and you want to run it, as an iteration and you want to run something in a loop condition, that is what you need to run this code. You need to provide as a for statement. So let's see what it does. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see what it did? Means every 4 sprint, I can say system.out sprint. I'm gonna say same thing. I'm gonna copy after every 4 sprint is a release. So I'm gonna say this one, okay? So what I'm trying to, I'm giving you some real-time example, okay? This is the reason behind giving this sprint I condition is, see, what it does is, it will print this conditions and it will say, probably see, let's see what it does. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Okay, not every time. So you see this, right? What happened is I didn't want to print it every time, but it did. So after every 4 sprint is a release. So what happened is I print every condition. What happens in the for loop is you have initial, you have up to, and what condition you want to add. Third condition is sprint plus plus. So what I'm saying here is, first condition I'm saying is start with sprint 1. Sprint equals to 1. Sprint up to sprint 5. And sprint plus plus means plus plus in the Java also what it is, it's an integer. If it's an integer type, it will add it. Okay, just to remember that plus plus means added. And what I'm doing here is I want to make sure that I want to add the each sprint. What is doing? If first condition, what happens is I will write it in a plain language. Let me write this condition how it works. Okay, maybe I'll do it. I'll write in a I'll create a class first. Okay. 1 second. New class. Week 7 for loop. Okay. All right. Let me remove this. So I'm going to write a code here. Okay. This is just for our learning purpose. Oh no, sorry. I'm going to do it here. My bad. Oh, I can write it in there. 1 second. My bad. It's not a method. Insert loop. So what happens? I'll show you how it runs. Okay. First, it's always good to write. Okay. That is how what happens is I'm running this manually in my head, how it works. Okay. So how I'm doing is I'm going to do first. What happens? Sprint. I'm running it manually like 1 by 1. Sprint equals to 1. Okay. Because when I said initial condition equals to 1, is sprint less than 5? First condition equals I declared, right? And then it means the sprint condition will be 1. So now the sprint is 1 because initial condition is 1. Is sprint less than 5? Yes. Okay. And it will not, the third condition it will ignore for now because it's the beginning condition, right? So starting point, and this is the condition, and this is the last one. So what it does is first one, it says sprint less than 1. Yes. Okay. Not even that. It will just go the first condition. It will go and it will do first sprint equals to 1. What it will do is now it will go to system.print print 1 because this is I'm going to first line. Okay. Print 1. Second thing is what it will do is print second print statement. Okay, now let's go to the second thing. What happens is sprint equals to 1. Initially starting point is 1. Now print, what happens is now the first condition is met, right? Sprint equals to 1. Now what it will happen is second condition in the loop, how it works is it will look at what it needs to do is if sprint equals to 1, sprint is less than 5, sprint plus plus. So what it does it now the first condition is met, it will go to the second one. What it will do is sprint equals to sprint plus 1, right? Equals to 2. What happened is in this first condition we declared in sprint equals to 1. In that case, what happened? It will this first condition is met, it will go and it will run this test. That's all it's gonna do. Okay, because how the loop works. Second time what it does is sprint equals to sprint plus 1. This is what it will run. And third thing it will do is and sprint is less than 5 equals to true. Correct? If you look at here, what I'm saying is sprint equals to sprint plus 1 equals to 2. That is what it did, sprint plus plus, and sprint is less than 5 equals to true. Now, when this condition is met, what will happen is it will go again inside the loop condition. You from the if else condition you understood, right? Until the condition is met within this bracket, then only it will hit the second line. If not met, then it will go up to the last bracket. It will go and hit some other condition. So what happens in this case is sprint equals to 2, which is less than 5 equals to true, means it is condition is valid. So what it will do is it will print 2. Print 2. Because now in this case, first time the sprint was 1, right? Now sprint has 1, sprint plus 1 means 1 plus 1 equals to 2. Now what happened is print 2. Let's not even have this one. I don't know why I want to do this. Okay, let's remove this one. Only we'll do is print plus 1. Now let's go to the third one. Okay. Now, since previously the sprint equals to sprint plus 1, right? Plus 1. What is the value of sprint now? Because now remember, once you declare it stays the same value. Now sprint earlier iteration, the value of sprint was 2. What happens is now in this condition, the sprint would be 2 plus 1 equals to 3. And sprint is less than or 5 equals to true. Then print. Then what happens? It will go inside this condition. And what is the condition we asked it to do? Print. What it will do? It will print 3. Similarly, if you repeat here, okay, I'm going to repeat the 4 because it's same to as 3. Okay, sprint plus 3 equals to 4. And oh, sorry, less than 5, right? My bad. Okay, print 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. First condition, this is how. Now what will happen is next condition. Okay, sprint equals to sprint plus 1, right? This is how, if you want to understand the loop, this is the only way you have to write it down to understand this. It's a mathematics kind of thing. So earlier sprint is already 4 here, right? When you say sprint, now sprint and sprint less than 5 equals to false, correct? Then what will happen when this condition? Anyone? Can anybody guess what will happen in this here? I think I explained a couple of times this one. What will happen in this condition? Sprint is less in this condition. It's false. False means if it's a false condition, like if else condition, it will never hit that logic. It will never go inside the code. Means this will never print this condition. Okay. Now let me run this code. What it does. Okay, let me do. It prints 1, 2, 3, 4. See, first condition is met. Sprint equals to 1. That's how the for loop starts. Print 1. That's what it print. Second thing is sprint equals sprint point 1, because this is the what happens first time. Whatever we do, it will initial point. It will first condition is met. It will directly hit here. Now second time it will do. It will go and we gave a condition to add 1. So what happens? It will go and print. It will go and add 1 to the sprint. So sprint plus 1 means sprint plus means sprint plus 1. Okay, just remember that this is the syntax they use. But plus means addition, means add 1. So if you look at sprint equals to sprint plus 1 equals to 2, and sprint is less than or equal less than 5 equals to true, means after the condition means it satisfied this condition. And after it, since it satisfies this condition, it will go and go to this line. And what is in the line? We said print 3. So let me put here now less than 3. Anyone? How many? What will it print? Like here 1, 2, 3, 4. What will print? Anyone want to try?
It will be up to 3 only, maybe, sir.
Not up to 3, right? It will not print because yeah, less than 3 is there.
Yeah, less than.
So if you do here, look around, it's 1 and 2. If you put here 2, what happens? Means the first
Only
condition will match, and it will say 1 plus 1. First condition is print equals to 1. This is first condition, it will match, right? It will just go and print 1. Now what you're saying is, if you're saying second condition is also, it will look for 1, but this is what happens is the future state. Okay, this is not the initial state, and this is the future state. So what happens is, when I do less than 2, what will print? See, let's run this one. Less than 2, it will print only 1, because first condition it will print 1, right? Second, what happens is it will go and add this condition. So what is happening is, and it will go and validate this condition. Similarly, what I did here, it will be sprint 1 plus 1 equals to 2, and sprint is less than 2. This is condition I have provided here, right? This is the condition. Sprint less than 2 equals to false. So it will false means it will end there. First time it will run, second time it will false. I mean, if you want to loop, you can put 1 also, but so this will, I don't know what it will happen. Let's see. It will not print anything, but this is not the I mean, if you no use of using condition where you don't want to print anything, right? So looping usually means you want to do something out of it, right? So this is the reason. This is the syntax for loop. And if you want to understand how the loop works, This is how you need to understand. Write it down, or maybe understand how this code works. Did it, does this make sense to you? I mean, do you everyone understand how this loop works?
Yes, I think I understand it.
Okay, now I will give you another example. Okay, similar example, but little twist. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Okay, let's do. So I changed it now. Earlier I had plus plus means add, minus minus means subtract. In a loop statement, you can also do other way. In this case, what I'm saying is I want the sprint to be 5. Okay. And then I said sprint is condition 5. And then I'm saying here sprint is less than equal to 0 means first I give in the beginning I started from 1 to 5. Another condition I can start from 5 to 1 also. Right? So in that case, earlier case, what it prints is 1 to 5. Let me, and in this case, what it will print. So can anyone tell me what it will print first? Anyone try?
4, 3, 2, 1, I think.
Yeah, I think you are right. So let's see. Oh, why didn't it print? Oh, it didn't like it. Less sprint equals to 5. It didn't like this condition. So why didn't it like this condition? It should print that one. Sprint equals to 5. Sprint less than or equals to 0. So it print something. Why didn't it print? Let me see. It should print something. You didn't like this one? Let me see why I didn't like this condition. I should print something. Oh, you didn't like it. Did I miss something?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, let me see. I don't know what syntax I made. That's all I can do is. Oh, I said less than 0. Okay, so you see what happened here. My bad. So what I gave condition is I said sprint equals to 5 and sprint is less than 0. So what happened is it didn't know what to do, right? Condition was never met. Everyone understood what I did here. Less than.
What did it say?
I did sprint is I gave in the loop condition. What I gave is first I gave sprint equals to 5, right? And I gave sprint second condition which I gave is sprint is less than 0. Means sprint is 5 and less than 0 is it's two different directions. Okay. So it should be, if you want to create a loop, it should be confined within the number. So like here, if you look here, right, what I did is, if you look at this condition, once let me remove this logic, start with 1 and I said less than 5 means I have conditions within the 1 to 5, right? Between 1 to 5. But here I gave up 5 and then 0 means of 5 and 0. So there is no in between. So what happens is I said sprint equals to 5, like I have 5 apples and you have no apples. But now you have negative apples, means you are loaning. So I have 5, I'm loaning another apple, or like, there is loop condition is spreading. Like if you look at this, what I did is I said one to go this way, another one to go this way. So those two are there are two lines, they are never touching each other, basically. So that's not to be, it should be greater than. Okay. So let's run this one. Yeah, see this? Let me do one thing. I'll just comment this one for now so that we can know what is happening. So it's print from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct? If I say greater than 0, now greater than equals to 0, I do, right? Let's see.
0 also.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what happened here is, since starting point is 5, it prints the 5. And I said, now I'm giving here condition. Like conditions should be within that confinement. Like I said, the confinement, right? 5 to 0. If you look at this condition, if you read it, right, in a sense, if you look in a logical sense, it is saying here, sprint 5, sprint start is sprint 5, and sprint is greater than or equal to 0. Means I have sprint 5 and starting point is sprint greater than or equal to 0 is logic is met. Sprint negative plus means negative means it will reduce that number from whatever the 5. So what happens? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. This is a for loop. And if you look at here condition, what we did is addition. So what we did, sprint starts with 1, sprint is less than 5, and sprint addition. And sprint it will print. So try this similar example I did here, right? For 1 to 5, the assignment would be do the same thing for 5 to write it down. How this works, right? This is the logical. I wrote this logically, right? So and also I think it should be 1 second, and sprint is less than 5 also equals to true. This also should matter, right? Because the condition is then print 1. So I said in this condition, what happened is 1 is print less than 5, then print condition. So similarly, what I wrote here, right? How this for loop works. This is basically I'm writing manually how the, if I want to write this, the condition of for loop is I can write this multiple times, right? In conditions, instead of writing these conditions to add 1, is print 1, like this print statement, right? I can do is I can say here, like the reason behind this for loop solving issue is let's say sprint, okay, my bad, sorry. And sprint 1 equals to 1, and sprint 2 equals to 2, and sprint 3 equals to 3, and sprint 4 equals to 4. Now system, I say sprint 1 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me comment this one for now. See, I wrote this conditions like 4. I declare the 4 integers, right? Sprint 1, 2, 3, 4, and also I declare the values as an integer value. That's what I'm doing here also, right? The same thing. And now what I'm doing is I'm saying print each sprint. Okay, using for loop. 1 second, I'm gonna say using for loop. Okay, so this is without using for loop. This is using for loop. Now let's do the printing. See 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, my bad. Let me do one thing to read better, right? See, if you look at here, what I did is I could get the same result. All this print from 1 to 4, writing this statement this way. But there is a way in for loop, which is I can do it. I can create a for loop where I can get the same result, right? I have the goal behind is print number 1 to 4. And here also I want to 4, but I could do the same thing with the for loop. So example here, I did 10, 5, right? Let's do 10. Oh, 1 second. Okay. So, see, I can get from 1 to 9 now, less than or equal to 10. I can do 10, right? I will get 10 numbers. I can get results from loop using 1 to 10, just like that. But if I have to do here, I have to write int sprint 5 equals to 5, sprint 6 is 6, then I have to print everything, right? Instead of doing that, I could create a for loop, one statement, simply provide the beginning of starting point, end point, and how many I want to add, like sprint plus plus or sprint plus 1, sprint equals to sprint plus 1. I can just do this one, right? So I can get all these 3 through this for loop. So this is the easiest way of doing the things, right? So the reason behind the loop is some iterative items. There are iterative work you have, right? Make sure the iterative item is much easily handled. So there are, like, our job as a programming, everything is to solve problems. What problem it is solving is, instead of writing all one, like say example here, instead of 10, I want 100, right? Instead of writing 100 times the same this statement, I can, instead of writing print 100, print 99, 98, all, I can write one loop and it will get me the number from 1 to 100. Look at this now. I've got all these numbers from print 1 to 100 in one side. It's iterative task, which could take me such a long time to write this up to printing. I can write one for loop and it does the same task, same work for me. So do you understand the reason behind why we, what the condition or why we need a loop? The reason behind loop is to all the iterative tasks you can do it on with the help of this with the for loop and condition. Does it make sense? Anyone?
Yes.
Other than Sushmita ji, anyone? Did it start to make some sense? Because yeah, I mean, I don't know how many of you have previously looked into the loops and condition, but this is Java is all about if else and for loop. So even if, I mean, there will be conditions. So if else, for loop, while loop, there are people loop. Java is mostly about how you, I mean, any code you'll go, there'll be little bit ways of doing this. It's all about the looping and objects and looping. I mean, looping is not the Java, it's the coding. I would say in any coding, you'll see this for loop and if else condition. Any part of coding, you don't need even have to. If you go to, I mean the if you try this in the database or C++, or if you go to
Oh
the
yeah, when Arjunji was doing the C++, I heard the loop and I was wondering what that was. Now I understand what it
okay.
is.
So if you do Python, anything you look, right? This is the basics of any programming language. Any programming language will have for loop and if else condition. Any programming. So this is the I mean, if you want to know how the programming works, this is 101. So I mean, I think we also, I remember I had to do some stuff like this even in Nepali school. So 10 क्लासमा 9-10मा पढ स्कुल कम्प्युटर पढाएको थिएँ, पछि त फेरि छोडेँ मैले, पछि आएर यहाँ फेरि अर्कै पढेँ मैले। त्यसमा पढाउँदाखेरि यो फर लुप त्यति बेला पनि पढाउँथ्यो कि नेपालमा 9-10मा पनि पढाउँछ फर लुप। अनि यो फर लुप, इफ एल्स कन्डिसन, यो लुपिङहरू चाहिँ यो प्रोग्रामिङको एकदम इम्पोर्टेन्ट, यो क्यू बेसिक्सहरू भन्ने पढाउँथ्यो, त्यसमासम्म युज गर्थ्यौँ कि हामीले प्रोग्रामिङ।
कम्प्युटर साइन्समा
हजुर
9-10 क्लासमै भने जस्तै
हजुर सर, यो उसमा
धेरै
क्यू
एडभान्स
बेसिकमा युज गर्छौँ हामी यसमा।
त्यही त क्यू बेसिक मैले पढाएको थिएँ, त्यति
हजुर।
क्यू बेसिकहरू पढ्दाखेरि त्यति बेला 9-10मा यो सबै फर लुपहरू पढाउँछ कि डिफ्रेन्ट काइन्ड अफ प्याटर्न
मेरो
बनाउनु।
चाहिँ फर्स्ट टाइम हो है लुप सम्बन्धी शब्द चाहिँ सुने हो हैन, द
हजुर
भेरी फर्स्ट टाइम।
मेरो पनि फर्स्ट टाइम हो।
ए हस्।
मैले
But
त लुप होल्स भन्ने सुनेको थिएँ सर। लुप होल्स भनेको त विकनेसहरू हो नि त।
होइन, अब यो लुप अब एकदम इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ क्या लुप, किन दिस इज रियली इम्पोर्टेन्ट बिकज this is for any programming language or anything you want to do, you have to know the loops, because loops are always, this is basic 101. That's what I'm trying to say is, even in the school level, you have to learn about how the for loops work, how the other loops work. I mean, little syntax here and there, but the concept is same. Okay. So another, this plus plus is a little bit different thing, and this is concept is a little different. So I would like everyone to practice, and if you have any issues, go to W3C school. This is only way. So some of the example, you understand why we need to do the loops, right? The only example I gave a little bit about is I want to make sure understand that how the loops and how I just wanted to give some, I mean, revision also. What is a sprint, and what is the sprint planning, and how the sprint works, what is the release version, release they call it, release version they call it. Those are the nomenclature terms that will be used. So yeah, this is all about the sprints and loop. I can go more further into the loops, but before I do, I'll let this one also. So I want everyone to practice this, okay? Assignment would be, and write it. Let me see. I'm gonna write it there in the assignment, similar to the other one I provided. Please work on. Let me see. Assignment.
Go cover for the loops.
Yeah, negative one. I give the positive one, right? So I want the write it down, like see how the loop works, and if that will help you also in the future. One second. Write in plain language how the for loop works. Okay, and this will be this should be good. I'll upload the files also. Okay, Java files, just in case if you want to. You want to look into this, right? Oh, not this one. Okay. Let me see if I can drag it. Yeah, I can drag the files too. See the sample, look into it, and see what is the for loop, how it works. So write it down like this, the same way I wrote, right? So I think I submitted, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here's the example. So right for this sprint negative, how it works. Right in the same like this is the sample I added here, week 4, week 7 for loop, so that I don't want to go beyond this because it is, I think, something which you can do. So, but if you want to understand a little bit more about how the for loops and the different conditions, you can also instead of for loop, I can have the conditions inside the for loop also. So in real time, what happens is, let me ask this one. So this is just sample, okay? Let's say one number, okay? I'll say 100, okay? I'm gonna use the condition here, okay? Not this condition, sorry. This is some different example, okay? I already added this code in the, so how this works, okay? If sprint divided by 4 equals 1. Okay, sprint divided by 4, oh my bad, equals 2 equals. Let me remove this also. I don't want this code. Okay. Everything is closed. No error. Okay. Okay. 1 second. System.out. Okay, let's run. Why did you get 4, 5, 6, 7? How did this print? I didn't understand what is happening. Okay. So I'll just give you one example, right? Or sprint equals to, or I can say, I'll say sprint equals to 4. Release. Okay. See, so within the loop also, there are conditions you can add within that if condition. So what is the loop condition means? In the real time, what happens is you have this for loop. Inside the for loop also, there are conditions you can print. So if in this case, I said like if sprint is 1, sprint less than 100, sprint plus, right? So I'm saying here, if sprint, if I remove this code, okay, let me see, 1 second. Let's run this code first, what it does. Okay. Proceed. I don't know what happened here. Did I miss a bracket? Okay, my bad. So let's go to bracket. Okay. If I run this code, it will only print the 4. So what is it saying that similarly we said like age, right? You can put the age also here, the same thing. Instead of that, age equals to 0. Age equals to 100. Okay, age. So the earlier condition we added, right? Let's see. Okay, 1 second, week 7. Army requirement, right? Here we go. If age equals to this one condition we added, let me remove one thing. I can add this condition within this condition also. Okay. Only thing is I don't have this Boolean condition, right? I'll remove this. So what happens is, in this case, I will say plus age. I'm giving some example how things are written in the real world. Okay, Control C, Control V, Control V. Okay, so this will never hit, but let me see. Let me run this project now. Program. See, you'll see that you are not eligible for. We start with 0, right? Age 0. I'll do 101. Sorry, 110. I'll do 1 second. 110. Okay, let me run. So if you see this, what happened is I had this earlier if condition written, right? Within that if condition in the loop, what I did is, if you want, I can add this also as a 1 second. Let me change the for loop and with US Army is restriction. Okay. Okay, let me change this also file name. Okay. So let me add this also as a part of this example. So what I did here is, if you look at this statement, right? I said age equals to 0, age is less than 110, age plus plus. So earlier condition we added was, if age is less than 18, print this one. If age is less than greater than 18 equals to 18, less than 35, print this statement. If age is less than this one, so what happens is age is a 0. So first term, then age is 1, age is 2, age is 3, age is 4. We are looping, right? Loop means it's a going through loop, and up to 110, up to less than 110 means up to 109. So let me see. If you go here, if you look at the what is prints, you see it starts with 0. So it starts with 0. Means as soon as you're born, you are not eligible for the US Army. Okay. Now up to that same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, up to age 17, you are saying you are not eligible for US Army. Okay, you see this one. Now, if you go here, let me do this one. I don't like this. I don't like this. I like the space between the words. So now after that, what happens is I go from age 18. From 18, you see that eligible. See this, it hits this age. Your age is between age and 35 and you're eligible for US Army. So 18 eligible, 19 eligible, up to 35 is eligible. Now you go from 36. Now this is right. You are above the maximum age allowed. See, you are above the maximum age allowed, and then after 36, you are not allowed for the age. Now up to what 100 you will get, or 99, right? Because we said 90, yeah, less than 100. Okay, up to less than 100 we gave here condition. We didn't give the condition equals to 100, right? We said less than 100. So up to 99 years old, you are eligible to be this condition will hit. We are above the maximum age allowed. But after 100, after 100, what happens is we don't have the condition else. It will go to else condition. In else condition, you're saying you provide the wrong age for the US Army. So you're almost P3 or whatever you call it. So from 100 onwards up to 109, you are not provided. So it will hit this logic. So this way, instead of having all those earlier, what I did is I have to provide all these statements. See this, all the statements to verify it, right? Now, if I want to do this within this one condition, look, one loop condition and this if statement, let's look at the size of the code. It's very small code and it's handling so many, the small code handles too many stuff, right? You see this one? Only 4 or 5 lines of code is managing all those logics. So this is one of the advantage of looping and the condition. So this is one of the real-time examples. So I will do is I will also add this one also as part of the practice so that you guys, everyone can go and practice. 1 second, where do you go? What did I add? Not this one. Okay, I'm gonna add this one also. Let me add this one. 1 second. What did I do? For the day 1 is there? 1 second. Did I create day 1? Okay, here you go. I can add here. Edit. Go over this file also so that it's helpful for you to see some of the examples what we did. So these are all the examples of coding. This is what we are doing is there are multiple ways of coding and examples of the real life examples. So this is one of the real life example of how you can use the loop and conditions together. This one, the one I did. So go over it, see if you can figure out if you want to do some greater than equal to, change these conditions, add more logics, add the conditions, do some samples, and rerun the whole code first. Understand this code, try to rewrite it again, and see if it can work. So that is one of the only way is practice, practice, and practice. That's all you have to do. सबैजनाले अब प्र्याक्टिस गर्नु, अब यो सबै अब फर लुप, इफ एल्स कन्डिसनहरू यो सबै क्लासहरू, अनि पहिला नहेरिकन पहिला हेरेर ट्राई गर्नुस्, त्यसपछि नहेरी ट्राई गर्नुस्, अनि त्यसपछि नहेरेर पनि मल्टिपल टाइम्स गर्नुस्, अनि त्यसपछि अनि त्यो केही सबै नहेरे पनि ट्राई गर्न सकेपछि अनि त्यसमा चेन्ज गर्न थाल्नुस् कन्डिसनहरू के गर्न सकिन्छ। मलाई यो कन्डिसन मन परेन, मलाई 110 मन परेन, मलाई चाहिँ 100-200 गर्नु पर्यो, या मलाई यो कन्डिसन या 35 देखि 100 मन परेन, मलाई 67 गर्न मन लाग्यो या 65 सम्म। त्यो हुन्छ नि। अब जस्तै पेन्सन एजको गर्नुहोस्, अब पेन्सन एज के हुन सक्छ, कुन चाहिँ वर्किङ एज हुन सक्छ, त्यो एक्जाम्पल आफै थिङ्किङ गरेर त्यो डेटाहरू लुप कन्डिसनहरू चेन्ज गर्न सकिन्छ क्या। त्यो सबै यसो एक्जाम्पलहरू प्र्याक्टिस गर्नुहोस् कि आफै, अब यसो सोच्दै गर्दै प्र्याक्टिस गर्दै गर्नुहोस्। अनि नेक्स्ट स्याटरडे चाहिँ हाम्रो एक्जाम हुन्छ है, फर्स्ट एक्जाम। एनी क्वेसन्स?
सर एक्जाममा चाहिँ के सबै आउने, अहिले पढेको सबै आउने हो सर?
सबै हजुर।
ए ल सर, भनेको हामीले थ्योरी पनि पढ्नु पर्यो?
थ्योरी पनि प्र्याक्टिकल दुइटै हजुर।
ए ल सर।
ल आजलाई यति। अब भोलि अलिकति अब वाइल लुपहरू जान्छु होला, फेरि यसलाई एकचोटि फेरि रिभिजन गर्नुहोस्, भोलि अब ट्राई गर्नुहोस्, अनि के हुन्छ, अनि फेरि जाउँला एकचोटि रिभिजन गरौँला यो सबै कुराहरू। अनि भोलिलाई यति नै हो। यो अलिकति यो चाहिँ अब नयाँ हुन्छ, अलिकति प्र्याक्टिस गर्न टाइम लाग्छ होइन। प्र्याक्टिस गर्दै गर्नुहोस्, हेर्नुहोस् कहाँ कति हुन्छ, अनि त्यसपछि हेरौँला। अब यो प्र्याक्टिसै गर्नुपर्छ क्या यो सबै कुराहरू। केही भन्नु छ हजुर कसैलाई? हजुर
मोर प्र्याक्टिस नै चाहिने देखिन्छ। अब समयमा धेरै काम गर्नु पर्यो जस्तो देखियो।
अब त्यो त अब गर्नु क्याचअप धेरै गर्नुपर्छ क्या। अब यो क्याचअप भन्दा पनि अब यो प्र्याक्टिस चाहियो मेन त। यो सबै अब यो प्र्याक्टिस हो कि, प्र्याक्टिस भयो भने त सकिन्छ। प्र्याक्टिस चाहिँ गर्नुपर्छ क्या।
अहिले पनि नसुनेको वर्डहरू चाहिँ अब निराख्या हुने, त्यसले गर्दाखेरि थोरै अब
यो त्यसको लागि चाहिँ अब यहाँ क्लासमा पढाएको पछि या टपिकहरू चाहिँ फेरि गएर पढ्ने, मल्टिपल टाइम भन्ने। मैले हरेक टाइम यो अब यो मैले पहिला गर्दाखेरि रिभिजन के कस्तो गर्नुपर्छ भने, अब सुरुमा मलाई त्यो अब यो सबै कति कुराहरू यो त अब टाइम लाग्थ्यो, तर अब सुरुमा पढ्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यसलाई हरेक दिन जस्तो रिभिजन गर्थेँ क्या मैले। अनि एभ्री डे जस्तो पहिला कहाँ पढौँ के पढौँ त्यसलाई चाहिँ सरर हेर्दै जानुभयो भने एउटा नोटबुक हुन्थ्यो मेरो भन्न 50-100 पन्नाको थियो क्या अरे। सुरुमा त लाग्थ्यो घन्टौँ लाग्थ्यो क्या त्यो रिभिजन गर्नलाई। पछि गर्दै गएपछि त्यो विदिन आवर कपाल आवर्स हुन्थ्यो क्या रिभिजन। त्यो भनेको मतलब अब त्यो चाहिँ यही इटरेटिभ मोडल हो क्या। n=1 गर्नु भने सुरुदेखि टाइम लाग्छ। अब यसलाई 100 टाइम्स गर्नु, यो लुपमा हालेर पढ्नु, 100 टाइम्स गरिसकेपछि तपाईँलाई पक्कै यो सबै आउँछ क्या। इजी भनेको फेमिलियर हुनुहुन्छ। अब लुपमा 1 मात्र राखेर चाहिँ भएन, इफ मात्र कन्डिसन लाएर चाहिँ लुपभित्र हाल्नु पर्यो इफलाई। इफ आई स्टडी आल पास, इफ आई स्टडी प्र्याक्टिस आल नो भनेको चाहिँ कतिचोटि लुपमा हाल्नु त्यही हो क्या। इफ आई प्र्याक्टिस 100 टाइम्स देन आल नो, लुपमा हाल्नु भने मात्र पनि आउँछ एन्सर। 50 टाइम्स 10 टाइम्स लुपमा चाहिँ त्यो इफ कन्डिसन मात्रले काम गर्दैन क्या। इफ विथ लुपमा हालेको जसरी हालेँ अहिले मैले, यसरी नै लुपमा हाल्नु भने चाहिँ मात्रै सजिलो हुन्छ सबै कुरा। ल हस् त, अब ह्यापी स्याटरडे।
Thank you so
अब फेरि
much.
भोलि भेटौँला। हस्,
Thank you.
बाई।